Is Sigma actually over-engineered for what he needs to be? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Stylosa and welcome to the channel. What we're going to do in this video is review Sigma. That means we're going to look at every aspect of the hero. Now, I've been working on a bunch of videos for Sigma, and there is one overriding question in my head. Is Sigma actually any good? Like, how does he fit into the game? And I'm really worried that what they've done here is built a hero that's fun to play, but doesn't really have much usage in the game. But remember, it's early days right now and things can change as time goes on. I mean, look at Anna. She's the best example for this. When Anna came out, nobody played Anna, but then everyone realized she was amazing. Then Blizzard had to start nerfing her. So that could possibly happen to Sigma. The issue with Sigma is I think we're all much more experienced players now. So I think when we do make these like kind of hot takes, we are maybe a little bit more accurate. Now, one of the questions I want to answer, because no doubt some of you guys in the comments below are probably like, well, Sty, why are you making this video now? It's because I don't think you can like review a hero a few days after launch. Now we're in a very lucky place where we've had a lot of playtime with the hero, and the hero has been radically changed on the PTR. Now, I was expecting this to happen because original Sigma felt really clunky. When you use kinetic grasp, you couldn't do anything else. It was like, oh, I'm using kinetic grasp, that's it. You couldn't recall barriers, you couldn't use accretion, you couldn't cancel accretion with kinetic. All this stuff you couldn't do, right? Actually, you can't cancel accretion with kinetic. You can cancel kinetic grasp with accretion. You couldn't do that before. So this means Sigma is much more streamlined now, and also he can, while a kinetic grasp is active, he can recall his barriers, so that allows him to get ready to redeploy as soon as kinetic grasp is dropped, which makes him more tankier when he's moving forward. So you've got all these little changes. I think it makes it a better time now to look at the hero and then try and work out where he fits into the game, and is he going to be impactful? Is he a hero that you should be looking at playing? And what actually is this hero? Now, I think the best place to start here is just the introduction of the hero. The origin story for this hero is phenomenal. The voice actor for this hero is phenomenal. The voice lines the hero's got is phenomenal. The visual design, just don't look at the feet, is phenomenal. Now, we know why the feet are there. They're there because, well, it sells the whole idea that he's in an asylum. He's crazy, he's lost his mind, he's got this like dual split personality. It may even be multiple personalities. We don't know what's going on. It's very dark for an Overwatch hero. So in a sense, it does push forward the barrier, the limits even, as to what Overwatch was capable of doing. Because a lot of the heroes before, they're very PG. Hey, look, fun hamster ball, you know. It's like, great, okay, it's cool. And Hammond is a great hero, but this is different. This is way darker. And for me, I mean, I couldn't believe they did it. So it wins in that regard. If I had to rate it against other hero launches, I'd probably put Sombra as the top one, just because the whole ARG, massive hype around Overwatch. And hell, I'm a bit biased because I was the guy that got to stream Sombra worldwide reveal from BlizzCon back in 2016. That literally the highlight of my career. It was amazing. So yeah, Sombra was the best, but then probably Sigma, you know, and then like, yeah, I mean, you look at heroes like Orisa, not great. I don't think that was a great launch. So yeah. Anyway, let's move on. So, introduction of the hero, fantastic. Visual design of the hero, awesome. The way his abilities look, awesome. The way the hero looks, awesome. All that is fine. And, well, maybe not totally awesome because there's only one skin with a pair of boots on, and that's the Talon skin. But that is a good skin. I just don't really like skins that hide the hero's face because I like seeing the faces because they've got a load of expression going on. Overwatch characters look awesome. So, yeah, all of that is good, right? The problem I have got is, where does this hero fit into the game? Now, I'm looking at my notes here, and I made a bunch of notes on the hero, things I wanted to cover with in the guide, and it's literally like the top line is, what the hell is Sigma? Is he a main tank? Is he a flex tank? What is he? Do you take this guy as your Reinhardt or your Orisa replacement? Hand over heart, guys, you don't. Right now, you don't, because he does not have enough potential to protect his team. When you look at an Orisa drops that big juicy 900 HP barrier. It doesn't move. Remember, Sigma's does move. This doesn't move, right? It just sits there, it's juicy, whatever. Takes a ton of damage, it blows up. But then what does Orisa do when it blows up? She puts another one down most of the time, right? So unless it doesn't get instantly destroyed by like a Batiste ultimate blasting into it or something insane, she's pretty much going to have another ready to go. And she doesn't have to stay with her barrier. She can put a barrier somewhere, she can move around, she can use Fortify to look after herself. Typically she would stay with it, but also she's got Halt, which works super good with Roadhog. And when we go into a 2-2 meta, 2-2-2 meta, Hog and Orisa is still going to be super strong. And this is the big issue I've got. Like, what do you do with the Sigma? Do you say, okay, we're not going to take the Hog, we're going to take Sigma Orisa? Or are we going to go into a barrier meta? Now, all these things could happen. We don't entirely know. But I'm looking at pure value, pure return from the tanks here. more so than just protecting the team. Because remember, we've only got 2 DPS now. This isn't the days of like you could just play whatever. Sigma exists completely in a 2-2-2 bubble. He has never been live in the game when there was no 2-2-2. So he has specifically been designed for that. And I'd love to know what the devs were thinking when they designed him. Like, how do they want us to play him? Where do they see him fitting into the meta? Because they must have these discussions. What worries me, though, is Sigma's kit is amazingly fun to play with. Right? He's such a fun hero. When new heroes come out, everybody generally goes, oh my god, new heroes, they're amazing, and they're just like losing their mind. Fair enough, new stuff makes people lose their mind, right? Sigma, though, you can still keep going back and playing Sigma right now, and he's still fun. I remember Brig, when I first played, this was like the old original hellish Brig. It was really funny to play. It was like, wow, this is crazy. But you could tell straight away it was horrifically overpowered in the first game. It was like, what the hell? But then I didn't really play tons of games after. This, I've played loads of Sigma. Now, maybe that's not entirely fair me saying that, because this PTR has roll queue. This is like literally the biggest PTR update there's ever been. PTR is better than live, which is crazy. So maybe it's not just, Sigma that's making me play on PTR. It might just be PTR making me play Sigma. You get what I'm saying? It kind of works both ways. But yeah, this goes back to the point I was trying to make. What is he? Is he a tank? Well, he is a tank, but is he an off tank, a main tank? Do you take him instead of a Hog or a Zarya? Who does he work well with? I mean, there's a bunch of heroes he works well with. He works actually quite well with a Zarya. He works really well with a D.Va because their ultimates combo amazingly well. So yeah, there are other tanks he works well with. Hog, arguably, maybe not the best combo for him. A Reinhardt, though, and an Orisa, this is where it can get worrying. If we do go into a double barrier meta, Sigma might become kind of the guy you want, because Sigma can do something really, really nice. He can shut down Widowmaker from range. Now, on Junkertown, on the first point, if you're on attack, you can throw your Sigma barrier into the windows and block the Widowmaker. Yeah, Widow can rotate. Yes, you can try and move your barrier around, but it does give you that option. Also, Sigma is really cool for stuff like throwing your barrier into the face of a ulting Soldier 76, a McCree, anybody like that who wants to pop their ultimate, a Pharaoh, you can throw it into their face. So he's kind of got a defense matrix in the barrier in that way, because you can throw it into people's face, right? Which is really, really cool. When you look at his kinetic grasp as well, that's sort of a mini defense matrix as well. So he's kind of got 2 if you look at it like that. I know it's a very warped way of looking at it. So what I'm trying to do here is like theorize where he goes, where he fits into the meta. I am worried that Blizzard have made a hero they kind of just wanted to make, or he was really cool, or they drew the hero, wrote the abilities down and went, wow, this is cool. Now, we do know that this hero should have been Mauga, but they decided that actually, given the abilities that they were giving him, it just wouldn't fit Mauga, because Mauga's a big, heavy guy who's just going to run around and beat people up, basically. He's not a guy with 200 IQ. He's not Sigma, is he? No, he definitely isn't. So they had to invent Sigma pretty quick to get him out and make the abilities match up. But then that makes me wonder, right? Have they just looked at these cool abilities and gone, yeah, this is cool, throw him into the game? Now, you could argue that's what you need to do for an Overwatch hero, make it cool to play, so people play it. And then once the hero is cool and people play it, then a meta will develop around it. The issue is, right, people always take the path of least resistance. And is Sigma the path of least resistance? Now, I've played a lot on the PTR, and I haven't just played Sigma. I've played DPS, I've played... Support's actually the least played role on PTR for me. Tank's the most played... no, DPS is probably the most played, actually, and then Tank. But they're pretty close. I sort of alternate between Tank and DPS queue. I find myself swapping off Sigma a hell of a lot, and I'll swap onto an Orisa. That's even if we've got a Reinhardt. All right, I'll go, right, I'll pick an Orisa, or we'll swap to an Orisa Hog combo, which is generally still the go-to comp on the PTR. So it worries me that will still be the go-to comp, and Sigma is going to be difficult to make work, because when you look at his ability set, Sigma can do quite a lot of damage, right? It's AoE splash damage, so it isn't like he's got massive kill potential, like he's deleting people from existence, but it all adds up. It means he can get his ultimate fairly quick for a tank, if provided you're throwing your balls great, which sounds really wrong to say, but hey. Kinetic Grasp is awesome when you weave it in and out your barrier. So if you push your barrier, then recall your barrier, rush forward with Kinetic Grasp, and then as Kinetic Grasp finishes, throw your barrier back out again. You can do some really nice stuff where you balance it. So he is actually kind of okay for pushing on maps like King's Row. Work really well for him. Like standard Reinhardt maps work quite well for Sigma, but you have to remember, Sigma's barrier is not Reinhardt's barrier. Reinhardt's barrier is better, so it will absorb more damage. So Yeah, and Reinhardt's is more mobile, as crazy as that sounds. Only on one plane, you can't throw it into a window. You can't say, like on the first point of King's Row, you could throw the Sigma barrier right into the window at the top where Widowmaker generally stands, from spawn, and be like, haha, shoot through that. Oh, you can't. So you can do cute things like that, but the big thing here is, are these cute things going to be enough? Now, there is something that could happen with Sigma, and I think this is something we really have to talk about. He could define a brand new meta. And this is something we can't really predict. Now, if things start changing, now this again is really hard to predict because we don't know what balance changes Blizzard have got going on down the line. We don't know how they're going to change heroes to fit in with 222. We know what they've done to Brig, right? That was a heavy change. Other heroes, though, Reinhardt, okay, had a bit of a buff, so he's resistant to knockback now. Okay, cool. He also doesn't get slowed by symmetric turrets when he's got his barrier out. Okay, cool. This means he can move. But we don't know what else Blizzard have got planned. We also don't know what the next hero is. I know it's a little bit too early right now to be talking about what the next hero is, but Sigma, I don't know, right? He could actually be really weak. And this is the thing with this hero. He could be super weak. He could actually be quite strong. He could define a new meta. It's all questions. It's like, what could this hero do? And I don't think there's ever been a hero like this launch into Overwatch, which is so difficult to work out. Super fun to play, but just so difficult to work out. Like, what comps are we going to run Sigma in? I mean, we're just going to have to play him and see what happens. The good news is the 222 PTR role queue will be coming to live, I think next week, or it might be the week after. But there's going to be I think it's next week, actually, isn't it? But there's going to be a beta role queue competitive season just for 2 weeks on the live service. So everybody will get to play with Sigma, and then we'll start to work out what's going on. Because as good as PTR is, it still is kind of a bit all over the place with player skill. Like, I want to get him into a proper sort of high masters game and see what happens, right? Same for you guys as well. Get him into like a proper plat game or whatever and just see what happens. He could be like a Reaper who might be super good at lower levels and maybe a bit more difficult to make work at higher levels, although Reaper is actually pretty good right now. There's probably more content on Reaper coming quite soon, guys, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I wanted to make this because let's review the hero, right? That was the whole point of the video, and it's so difficult to review him. Like, he's a really cool design. He's got an awesome voice actor. He had a great introduction. He's got an awesome ability kit, and he's fun to play. But beyond that, I don't know. Like, is he viable in the meta? Is he more effective than the current barrier tanks we've got now? Is he better than your Rhino or your Orisa? Notice I haven't really put Winston into this because Winston is the dive barrier tank. Orisa and Reinhardt are not. I don't think Sigma will be a dive tank. He just is too slow, which again comes back to his weaknesses. He has no mobility. He's really, really slow. All the other tanks, okay, no, Orisa doesn't have mobility, does she? But Reinhardt, he's got charge, yeah? Sigma, Winston can jump, Hammond's a ball, Diva can fly, Hog, well, I guess Hog doesn't as well. But for a barrier tank, yeah, he's sort of, when he's caught out, he gets punished. And maybe that's what should happen with the barrier tank, right? When they're out of position, they get punished. I want you guys to let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I could literally talk about this for hours and hours and hours. I'm really, as funny as it sounds probably to you guys, I'm trying to condense this video down so we're not just talking for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour plus on the hero, because he is just he's so engaging to play, but I am still, to use a beautiful word, I'm quite kerfuddled as to where this hero is going to fit into the meta. Guys, I've been Stylosa, this is Unit Lost. If you enjoyed the video, then like the video. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter, which is @Stylosa, and do let me know what you think about Sigma. I think he's really cool. I think he probably is the most complex hero Overwatch have added into the game, but will he be viable? I don't know. That's the honest answer. I'll catch you on the next one. Toodaloo.